Hello guys, welcome back to your HTML5 tutorial with Bolt, and today we're going to be talking about HTML tags, attributes, values, and the general syntax for what an HTML document. Once you could understand this, I swear to God, you would know virtually everything about HTML. Because once you know the syntax, what are syntax? When we're young, when we're in university, in secondary school rather, they will tell you to construct an English sentence. It has to be what? A subject, verb, and object. SVO. Now that SVO, that is subject, verb, and object, is the what? The grammar. That is the syntax for what? Constructing a good English word, English sentence. Now syntax are what? The guidelines, that is the rules that governs what? Any programming language you want to write, be it PHP, Python, whatever language, it's the same. Now let's get on. I come over here, I've created this folder already. Now come, right click and create a new file. I'll come here and hit the Ctrl S, then save it with what? Index.html. Now let me explain this. I called it .html. Why .html? It is .html because it has to have what? An extension of what? HTML. It could be HTML or HTML. The choice is yours. Now what I'm saying with this is that I'm telling my file, I'm creating this file, that this file has an extension of what? HTML. That is, the content inside of this file is what? HTML documents. Do you get it? Windows user would probably see things like setup.exe. that is setup files, probably for CorelDRAW 2015, like I do when I still use Windows a lot. I still use it. I do update my system. Now let's go back. This .exe is what? The extension for what? The file. Now let's go back and save it with what? Index.html. You could use HTML or HTML. I'll be using HTML because in case probably in the nearest future you saw it, oh, this is what? An HTML document. It's safe. Now let's go. The first thing we'll be talking about today is what? Tags. So what are tags? We call anything in HTML with tags. We call attributes, closing, open tags, self-closing. What are they? Tags are what? Things that are enclosed in between less than and greater than. What do I mean? Now let me write something in HTML. Now I started with what? The less than sign, wrote HTML inside, and what? Closed with what? The greater than sign. Now this HTML in between here, it is what? A keyword. Now what is a keyword? A keyword is like a predefined variable, a predefined word by what? The language you're using. If you're writing PHP, you might probably say something like PHP echo something, whatever. This echo is what? A predefined, is a what? A keyword for what? Outputting to what? The screen. Now in HTML, this is what? A tag, a keyword. Now close it with what? HTML. Close the HTML tag. Now this is what? An opening tag, and this is what? A closing tag. Now let me explain. An opening tag is what? The creation of what? A new tag, that is a new keyword. Now anything in between the less than and what? Greater than, as I said, is what? The keyword. Now to close a tag, it's the same. I created the tag with what? I created an HTML tag. Now how do I close the tag? I hit what? Less than / the name of the tag, and in here it is what? HTML. So I'll call it HTML and close. Now the only difference is what? The /. That is, if you see something of such like form, can you see? This is form, and I close it what? /. That is, this is a what? A form tag. The browser understand, okay, I'm trying to what? Create a what? Form, probably for username, password, inputting, things like that. That is not what we have to today. Let's go back. Now HTML and this. Now I want to show you guys some things here. Let me come over here, color scheme and choose Monica. Can you see? It is what? Sort of what? I don't know the color, so pardon me for that. Now since you understand what a tag is, now let's go to what? Attributes. Lang equals en. Let me space this so you see it much more better. Now What will you see here? You would see this is what the colors are what different. And why are the colors different? That is why earlier I said in our last tutorial that using a text editor like Notepad would what make life difficult for you as a programmer, because better text editors like Sublime Text, Notepad++, PyCharm, if you're writing Python, PHP Storm, if you're writing PHP or whatsoever, Eclipse, NetBeans, and things like that, they give this syntax highlighting. That is, they color your syntax very well. So you probably know, oh, there's something wrong here. Now let me show you guys something sweet about this. If I forgot to what close this with add the what double quotes here, what would happen to this? You would see this is what the same color with this. They are what the same. But let me now remove the double quotes. Can you see the color is different? So you would probably know that, oh, something went wrong. Sorry for that. Then let me what cross check. What's the matter? Okay, I didn't what add what double quotes between it. Now this lang here stands for what? Language. That is, it's telling the browser the language I'll be using is what? English. That is, English is the what? Is a value of what? The attributes we are specifying. Now this is the general syntax for HTML. Your tag, which stands with what? Less than. The keyword, probably let's use body now. Then what? To close it, you use what? Less than / the name of the tag, body. Now it is not necessary you had what? An attribute. And as I said, the attribute are just things that you what used to characterize, that is, give much more information about something. You could use up to 10 attributes on a line. You could use 5, you could use 1, and you could use nothing. You only get to use it when you need them. That is what tags means. That is what attributes mean. Now to use multiple attributes, probably you're writing a form, input type, we'll call it text. The name is what? Let's say username. Then the placeholder should be enter username. Let's say the value should be what? Username. Let's say size, or autocomplete is equals to off. You could say required, and you could use anything like that. How many attributes do you see here? We have type, we have name, we have placeholder, we have value, we have autocomplete. Now this is required here. Let me close this tag, or let me remove name, so everything is on the same line. Yes, something like this. Now this is another level of what? HTML. What did I say earlier? I said we create a tag and we have to close it with /. But here I created HTML and I closed it here. I created body, closed it like this. But why am I creating input? Why am I not doing something like this? /input. Why? Actually, when you save this and run it, it would run, but it is what? Bad practice. Why? Because in HTML there's something we call self-closing tags. Now I'm talking about 3 tags: opening, closing, and I introduced another one, what? Self-closing tags. Self-closing tags from the word is what? A tag you create and you close instantly. Example is what? This input. Why? Because any opening and closing tags is something that must be in between. If I write h1, I would have to type in something, then close h1. Body, all this should be in between body. Yeah, something like this. Then let me indent this very well. Now can you see this HTML? This from line 3 to line 8 is in between the HTML tags. Why from line 5, 6 is in between what? Body tag. And this thing in between here, this jargon, let me write something. Hello HTML5. Now this hello HTML5 is in between what? H1 tag. That is why we have what? Opening and closing. But things like this, inputs, nothing can be in between. You can't have something like this. This is what's wrong. Why? Because This tag is what? A soft closing tag. That is, they don't expect values in between them. That is, you don't create a separate opening and a separate closing tag and put something in between. They don't expect things like that. So this kind of tag are what? Soft closing tags. We have enough of them. Like we have the link tag, we have the break line tag, we have the horizontal row tag, inputs like this, and some like that. Don't worry, as we proceed to the next tutorial, you get to see a lot of differences between what them. Now this required here, because we're talking about HTML5, that is why I added this to this. Now this required, there's something we call boolean in programming general. Let me explain what boolean means. Boolean is what? A data type that has two values alone, truth or false. It can either be truth or false. There's nothing as truth and false, although when we're doing logic in our days in the schools, we could talk about logic, truth disjunction false, truth or false, truth x complement, truth something like that. But here in programming, we could only have what? Truth or false. Now this required here is what? A boolean. That is, it is telling this input tag, this is an attribute also, but we could specify a value to it like this, and you could decide not to specify a value to it. What is this saying? It's only saying for this input it is what's required. That is, before I hit the save button, before I hit the submit button, probably if I have a button like this, submit, it should what? Ensure this field is what? Something is inside the field. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I said this inside documents, but HTML tutorials index. So let me go and take it here. So this will be what is inside my documents. Documents, both HTML tutorials index. Now let me remove my value, which is what? Username, and let me save it. Now if I click on submit, let me put it inside a form. And hit submit. What happened? Please fill out this field. That is, this required here, which is an attribute, is what saying before I could submit this thing successfully, something must be what? In between. Now if I click it, it goes, and if I try to click it, submit it without what? Clicking, tells me to please fill out this field. Now what is this saying? This is just what? An attribute that specify what? Something must be what? Fill in before it was submitted. Don't worry, we'll talk about this form tag, we'll talk about input when we get to what? Forms very well. But today I'm just trying to explain what tags are to you. Now never forget, you start a tag with what? A less than sign and what? Right hand sign. Input the keyword in between, then you close it with what? A backslash, a forward slash rather, sign. Thank you very much. Don't forget to ask any question in the forum folder or in the forum aspect of my site. I'll definitely answer any of the questions, and for suggestions and any other thing, ensure don't forget to ask me. Thank you very much for today. We'll see you next time.